Hey guys, how's it going? Matthew Kadish here, author of the Earthman Jack Space Saga, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Watchmen trailer that was dropped in San Diego Comic-Con. And this has given us our best look yet at what we can expect from this show. Now, for those of you who are unaware, basically, HBO is doing an adaptation of the Watchmen graphic novel, sort of. I'll explain it in a little bit. Basically, the Watchmen graphic novel is one of the most celebrated graphic novels of all time. It's something that kind of redefined the comics industry in the 1980s. And it's looked at with great reverence from comic book fans all over the world. And it was adapted into a movie by Zack Snyder. And basically, HBO has optioned the material and they've turned it into an original series. But the thing is that the original series is actually a continuation of the events of the comics. So it really has nothing to do with the movie other than kind of like some visual cues and stuff like that. It's more tied in with what happened in the comic books as opposed to what happened in the movie. And Damon Lindelof, the executive producer of the show, who was also the executive producer on Lost, he is the one behind this series, and he says that it's kind of like a remix of the movie and the graphic novel all in one. So there's going to be stuff that's familiar from both the movie and the graphic novel in this thing. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take you through the first teaser that we got for the show, and then I'm going to show you the Comic-Con trailer. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to try to unpack what we can expect from this new original series. So let's go ahead and start this sucker.
We are no one. We are everyone. And we are invisible.
We convinced ourselves that they were gone, but they were just hibernating. They came for everybody. Oh, please.
Are we safe?
I guess we have ourselves a reckoning.
What are you two talking about?
Oh, nothing. Just the end of the world.
So this is the first teaser trailer for the HBO series. Now let's go and look at what was released over Comic-Con, and then we're gonna talk about this.
This is a stick-up!
Who are you?
Who am I? If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't be wearing a mask.
There are people who believe that this world is fair and good. It's all lollipops and rainbows. We don't do lollipops and rainbows. We know those are pretty colors that just hide what the world really is. Black and white.
Soon thou shalt save us, and we will whisper, "No."
We convinced ourselves that they were gone, but they were just hibernating. They came for everybody. Oh, please.
Coordinated simultaneous attacks at the homes of Tulsa PD. So the cops hide their faces, and now the bad guys don't know where they live. And who doesn't want a secret identity?
Ta-da!
People who wear masks are dangerous. We should be scared of them.
Why?
Because they're hiding something.
Lori Blake, FBI.
You know how you can tell the difference between a masked cop and a vigilante?
No.
Me neither.
There was a vast and insidious conspiracy at play. If I told you about it, your head would explode.
Who are you?
Maybe, I'm Dr. Manhattan.
He lives on fucking Mars.
You curse too much.
Oh, shit!
Nothing ever ends. It's only just begun.
All right, so a lot to talk about in this. So first of all, I just want to put my biases out there up front. I am not a fan of Damon Lindelof, who's the head writer and executive producer of the show. So I do not have a lot of faith in him to turn in a good adaptation here. Now, that being said, from what I saw of this trailer, it looks pretty darn good. Like, I'm still going to check it out. I'm going to basically be expecting the worst but hoping for the best with this Watchmen thing. So one of the interesting things is if we look at the first trailer, basically it seems like Rorschach his death has spawned this army of people. And if you remember from, like, whether you saw the movie or you read the comic books, basically Ozymandias, who's played by Jeremy Irons in the show, he set up an attack on the planet Earth from an alien squid or some type of threat, because they got rid of the squid in the movie. But basically, he needed an enemy that he could unite the planet under. And basically, he has become kind of like the leader of the world. And I'm guessing that he's kind of a totalitarian type ruler. And this army of Rorschach followers seems to be people who are following Rorschach's philosophy of fighting against Ozymandias' rule. And his rule is obviously being enforced by the police. And it seems like the catalyst for this show is that the Rorschach army starts targeting police officers and killing them. And so in response to that, the police officers start wearing masks to hide their identities so that they can't be targeted by these guys while they try to shut them down. And that creates an opening for masked vigilantes to come back into play and start dispensing their own form of justice. Because if you remember in the Watchmen comics, no one had superpowers. It was all just people wearing masks going out there and kicking butt. It wasn't until Dr. Manhattan was created that the first superpowered being actually came into play. And from the looks of this, we're getting some original characters coming back. Obviously, we have Ozymandias, but Dr. Manhattan is apparently going to be in the show, as was revealed in that final shot where he actually picks up a mask of himself. And he just seems to be chilling out on Mars, not doing much, but it looks like he's going to be returning to Earth and getting involved in some stuff. We also got some shots of Night Owl. Now, I don't know if that's the original Night Owl or if that's a guy who's kind of taken up the mantle, but we definitely get to see Night Owl's aircraft in the trailer, where he shows up and starts burning some airplanes and crashes into the ground and things like that. And the Night Owl aircraft looked to be flown by Don Johnson's character. And I think, they kind of hint at this vast conspiracy that'll blow your mind in the trailer. And if you remember back to the comics, the conspiracy kind of centered around the death of the comedian. And that kind of led into this broader plan that Ozymandias had to, basically kill an entire city and unite people under this this concept that they needed to be ruled by the Watchmen, basically. And it looks like Don Johnson is kind of in on that conspiracy. It looks like he might be the one leading the Rorschach army against the cops in some respect. At least that's the hint I got from the teaser trailer, where he's like tick tock at the end there. So I'm guessing that might have something to do with it. Who really knows? But this trailer, we got to see a lot of kind of like subtle nods to things, like when they're cracking the egg in the bowl, it looks like a smiley face, just like the typical Watchmen comedian symbol. I don't know where that is here, but I'll try to find it. A lot of police officers dying. We got the new mirror mask vigilante. I forget his name. There's been talk that the main character in this is actually Hooded Justice. It's played by this female cop right here. She might be the actual Hooded Justice who we see at the beginning on a TV show here. Like he's the one with the hangman's mask and the noose around his neck. That's the original Hooded Justice, who's, I guess, kind of like a character in the lore. And but the real Hooded Justice comes into play once this woman starts playing vigilante, and she looks like she's a former police officer. Here's the egg thing. So we have the smiley face here with the eggs. That's a nice little kind of nod to the Watchmen stuff. And we get to see Dr. Manhattan on Mars destroying something that looks like he created. We get to see masked police officers. We get to see the Night Owl ship destroying stuff up there. And this is the inside of the ship. Looks very similar to what we got in the movie. Now, this shot right here was kind of interesting in the sense that I don't know if you guys caught it. Let's see if I can find a better angle here. So this stuff in the trailer that's falling on the windshields of these people who are kind of like parked in this like rainstorm, whatever, they're baby squids. And so there's a lot of hints throughout this trailer that the big mutant alien squid thing that Ozymandias blamed the destruction of New York City on in the comics is a thing in the show. And these baby squids raining from the sky are kind of a nod to that there might be something new coming. And whether or not it's part of Ozymandias' ongoing plan or it's an actual alien threat of some type is up in the air, because it would be interesting to see if there's some type of supernatural or alien threat that these so-called superheroes actually have to unite against. And we also see this new character with the mirrored mask. He's eating a can of beans, just like Rorschach used to do. So I'm guessing he's going to be like kind of the Rorschach replacement, in the sense that he's like the detective character who kind of doesn't give a crap about anything, and he's kind of awkward and weird. And we definitely see a new kind of world order here. And in this shot where we see this newspaper, Veidt officially declared dead, that's the Ozymandias character, actually. That's his real name. And so at some point, Ozymandias is either dead or he fakes his death, and Jeremy Irons, who plays the character, maybe all of his stuff is told in flashback. It's hard to say, but this might be part of that conspiracy that was hinted at in the trailer. So we may get a murder mystery. We may get some deep conspiracy thing going on. I know that Damon Lindelof is a big fan of the J.J. Abrams mystery box stuff. If you've ever seen Lost, you'll know that. So I'm guessing that Watchmen might have a lot of that in there as well. A lot of stuff to kind of uncover and a lot of twists and turns. But I guess we'll see. We know for a fact that Ozymandias, Dr. Manhattan, and Night Owl are going to be back. I believe some other original Watchmen characters might be returning, and we might get a lot of new stuff. But I do find it interesting that this is going to be basically a sequel to the Watchmen graphic novel, and it's going to mix in some new stuff and some stuff from the movies and things like that. So, you know, I might have been a little bit too down on the Watchmen show to begin with, just because of my dislike of Damon Lindelof. But so far, this stuff, it's looking intriguing. It's getting me interested. I'm definitely going to check out the show when it comes out. And the good news is that it's coming out in October, so we only have a little ways away to go before we can watch it and judge for ourselves whether or not this show is going to be crap or if it's going to be any good. So what do you guys think of this? Are you excited for the Watchmen TV show? Are you going to check it out when it premieres in October on HBO? Let me know in the comments, and let me know your theories as well for what the show might be about, because I like to read that stuff. And if you haven't already, subscribed to my channel. Guys, this is Matt. I'll catch you in the next video. Later.